Could we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Ankerman.
Here.
Trustee Charlo.
Here.
Trustee Duarte.
Here.
Trustee Marquis.
Here.
Trustee Toll.
Here.
Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, we have consideration of the minutes, I believe they've been revised, of the January 13, 2020 Village Board meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Ankerman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Marquis. Any additional corrections? Want to redline some more? Everybody okay? That's good. That's good. Glad you did it. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. At this point in time, the village board and president allow up to 15 minutes for anyone in the audience who would like to speak on some topic that is not on this evening's agenda. Do we have anybody? I don't think so. Okay. All right. We don't have a really robust meeting agenda thing tonight, so I don't think we have to change the order of the meeting. Our finance director is home ill tonight, so I will do her report. And we have the warrant report for January 16th through 30th. First, which expenditures of village funds for payment of invoices in the amount of $66,336.91 for January 16 through 31. We also have the invoice register, as you should know, shows checks with the status of opened or paid. All right, all checks with the status of open are computer-generated checks for the board's final approval. All right, checks with status of paid are manual checks processed. You all know that one. We have the whole final approval of this warrant report of $66,336.91. Do I have a motion, please?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Toll. Do I have a second?
Second.
And second by Mr. Charlo. Any comments regarding this, questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee Ankerman.
Aye.
Trustee Charlo.
Aye.
Trustee Duarte.
Aye.
Trustee Marquis.
Aye.
Trustee Toll.
Aye.
We also are in receipt here of the December 2019 financial report. Do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
That's a move by Ms. Marquis. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Duarte. Attached for your consideration is the December 2019 financial report and a quarterly investment performance report. Noteworthy items found in this monthly report include the sales tax revenue on a cash basis for FY20 through October is $1,760,386. $106,285, or 6.4% greater than the same tax reporting period in FY 2019. Home rule sales tax revenue on a cash basis for FY20 through October is $509,619, or 3.18% greater than the same reporting period in the FY 2019, with an annual administrative fees totaling $7,743.20. Building permit revenue for XY20 is to date at $231,585, or $41,690 less than last fiscal year for the same time period. The May-December FY20 expenditures of $6,520,374 are $229,765 greater than the expenditures for the same period in FY19. Current expenditures overall are consistent with or less than the budget. Okay, any comments or questions regarding this? And I believe I got a first and second for this.
You do.
I did, okay. For approval of receipt of this? All in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, we have the village administrator's report.
Two things really quick, both related. You may recall a couple meetings back, there were some residents who came to the meeting with some concerns about Stonebridge And we talked about having an informal meeting with them, and we actually had that meeting. It was held on Saturday, the 18th, I believe, of January at the Lake Bluff Library. It was well attended, about 20 folks, neighborhood folks there at the meeting. I'm grateful to former trustee Rick Lesser and resident Catherine Driscoll who helped put that meeting together. I was able to provide a lot of, I'll say, background or historical information about the subdivision, the development to the residents. Some of them have new residents on that street, not necessarily having a lot of the history there. Additionally, the developer, Peter Kite and Mike Wallin from Roanoke Group, actually attended the meeting as well and provided a lot of information and talked about some ideas they have about redeveloping the property, and answered a lot of questions of the residents. And I think generally walking away, people at the meeting were very grateful that that informal setting was offered, and hope to have meetings like that in the future. I think it is helpful to have those types of informal forums for Q&A and so forth outside of the Village Hall here and some of the formal procedures that we are required to do. Unfortunately, sometimes when applications come in, we have to stick to those public hearings to have conversations like that. But I want to report to you it was a good meeting. The second thing related to that, later this week on the 30th, there will be a special Historic Preservation Commission meeting where the advisory review conference for the demolition petitions for the Manor House and the Gatehouse for the Stonebridge development will begin in earnest, really. And that meeting's at 7 p.m. And I know there's been some conversations in the community about that. And actually, early today, there was a special meeting where they had a walkthrough of the structures, and I think that was well attended as well. So a lot of community interest and dialogue, and just wanted to share that with you all.
Okay. All right. Any questions or anything? All right. We also have a report concerning disposition of certain village records. Village staff continues to work with the Records Management section of the Illinois State Archives to obtain the necessary approval to convert paper record to electronic files and dispose of certain village records. The Records Management section of the Illinois State Archives is responsible for assisting local government agencies with the disposal of records. In Illinois, no public record may be disposed of without state approval. Attached is a list for you of village documents that staff plans on submitting to the state seeking approval for disposal. All of these documents have exceeded the required holding period. This matter is being presented for the board's information, and if there's any objections to the provided list, village staff will coordinate appropriate disposal of the hard copy of the documents. Do I have a motion regarding the electronic storage and disposal?
Just before that's made, if I may, one thing that I was going to add to that in that report is that in front of you is a revised version of that. There was one typo in there for the cash receipt journals. It's noted the retention period 7 years was a typo. It showed through 2007, 2015. Trustee Markey caught that and said, hey, that doesn't seem to be the right period, and she was right. It's not. It was a typo, so thank you for that. But that's how it should read.
Okay.
Good catch. Good catch.
Thank you.
Addition, right?
Okay, Ms. Ankerman, you are getting a rival in terms of catching.
I know. I'm being a little jealous over here.
All right. Okay, do I have a motion regarding the acceptance of this report?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Dewar. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second, was that Ms.?
Go ahead. Troy can do it.
Mr. Toll, thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
That is all.
Okay, village attorney's report.
No report tonight.
Village president's report. I have no report tonight either. Okay, we have acceptance of the correspondence. That's all correspondence which was delivered to the Village Board of Trustees and the Informational Reports, January 3rd, 10th, and 17th. Do I have a motion to accept the correspondence?
So moved.
Okay, so moved by Mrs. Ankerman. Do I have a second?
Second.
And second by Mr. Charlot. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, we now have a resolution approving revisions to the Village of Lake Bluff Employee Handbook and Sexual Harassment Policy. Do I have a motion, please, to approve this resolution?
So
moved.
Okay, Mr. Toll, thank you, and a second by Mrs.
Second.
Markey. The General Assembly recently required each unit of government to adopt a resolution no later than February 10th that provides a mechanism for reporting and independent review of allegations of sexual harassment made against an elected official by another elected official. The village has, has existing non-discrimination and anti-harassment policies in place in the employee handbook that satisfies these requirements. The attached resolution would merely amend the handbook to confirm that elected officials are subjected to these policies. Additionally, at the recommendation of the village attorney, the amendment would also explicitly extend these policies to appointed officials. These changes make it clear that all village officials are responsible for precluding and have an avenue to report any harassing conduct. All right, I did do the motion for acceptance on this one.
I would just add, point out, if I may,
Go ahead.
the way this was written, you can see that it has the ability, the goal is to make it easy to report such behavior. And so the comments can come to me, they can come to my assistant Glenn, they can come to the department head, because there could be a situation where the PCCBA is experiencing something, those appointed officials who sit around that table. And so we want to make it easy for somebody to report this. And so that's why we wrote it this way. Hopefully we never have to deal with it, but nonetheless, if you approve this evening, we'll communicate that to all the appointed officials, and that way they will receive a copy of this section of the code.
Good.
And have this for reference.
Okay. Any comments or things from the trustees?
So everyone in the organization gets a copy of this?
Everybody, presently, every employee is subject to this manual, and they sign off any revisions, but this will now apply to you all, as well as
Elected
members
officials and
of the
appointed
Historic Preservation
officials.
Commission, members of the Planning Commission, Zoning Board of Appeals, those appointed officials holding those positions.
Do people have to sign off on that?
Acknowledgement,
And
receipt,
acknowledge
yes,
receipt?
we'll do that,
So we would have to do that as well?
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
This is a roll call vote.
Trustee Charlo.
Yes.
Trustee Duart.
Aye.
Trustee Markey.
Aye.
Trustee Toll.
Aye.
Trustee Ankman.
Aye.
All right, we have a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a temporary easement agreement with the WINFRIED and R. MAGNUS Family Trust, which is the Forest Cove Moffett Ravine Stabilization Project. Do I have a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Ankerman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Duart. Any comments or questions? First of all, let me read this. To complete the village's Forest Cove Moffett Ravine Stabilization Project, certain construction work is required outside of village right-of-way and existing permanent easements necessitating a temporary easement with the WINFRIED R. Magnus Family Trust, who is the owner of the property at 201 Moffett Road. As you may recall, the goal of this capital initiative is to stabilize the ravine at two locations where village storm sewers discharge into the bottom of the ravine. The proposed temporary easement agreement will allow the village to complete the project as planned and then restore areas within the easement to the existing condition. Anybody have any comments or questions regarding this? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, we now have any trustees report this evening?
Just have a brief comment. Had the pleasure of having my water meter replaced with one of the new water meters, self-reading, and it was a very painless process. Took maybe a half an hour or so, and the gentleman that did it was very cordial and polite. So
Okay.
it was a
All right.
positive experience overall.
The whole
hear.
initiative is undergoing, yes, okay. I would entertain a motion not to go into executive session because all we have to do is, at this point, is consideration of the January 13th, 2000 executive session meeting minutes. Do I have a motion not to go into executive session?
You don't need a motion.
I don't need a motion.
No
We
objection.
could just, okay.
Just
we
approve the minutes.
Okay, can we have approval for the minutes? Do I have a motion to approve?
You have a motion for
Thank you so much, Mr. Toll. Do I have a second?
Second.
And a second by Mrs. Markey. Any questions or changes or anything to them? All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Now can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved. So moved.
So moved. Thank you, Ms. Ankerman, and seconded by Mr.
Second.
Dewitt or Mr. Charlotte. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
It
That
is
is a record.
7:15
This
and
is-
we are
I don't
adjourned.
think we've
Nice.
ever done that. I think they break a record.